welcome to It Happened on the Job. We're episode, 12 now? 12.
Something like that, yeah.
Getting up there. My name is Mike Fisher. With me, as always, is Brian Summers.
How's it going?
Today with us, we have Keith Flores of Smart Choice Heating and Air. Keith, how you doing, sir?
Good. How about you guys?
Doing all right, man. Coming to you live from the middle of the pandemic.
The never-ending
the never-ending pandemic. I feel like this is like episode 6 in a row where I'm saying that. It's just nonstop. Won't never end.
When's the end going to happen for us?
Oh, man. Yeah. It's I feel like there's light out there somewhere. I just don't know how big that light is yet. I don't think we're anywhere close.
How far away?
Yeah. I don't think we're anywhere close yet. I think it's like running a marathon and you get halfway and you still got 13 miles to go. It's not.
And what's funny about this is at the beginning of it all, I'm going, this is nothing. This is just somebody putting out some propaganda scare. Everybody's going to, and I'm going about my business. And then all of a sudden I'm just watching things change drastically overnight. And I'm going, whoa.
Let's slow down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife is due in July, so she's
congratulations.
been on thank you. She's locked down and got my family locked down for almost 3 weeks now. So it's been a little
hairy,
stressful, and cooped up inside the house. Yeah, it was actually nice to get out and go to the office today.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got started in the industry? What got you going, and where you guys are at now? I'm born into this industry, I like to tell people, but I was probably 12 years old. And actually, I was 12 years old. And I went out to a job with my brother-in-law, Matt Nilsson. He owns a big heating and air conditioning company up in the Bay Area that they just had to shut down a couple days ago due to this. Yeah, they're a little bit strict up there, yeah. Yeah, because he does all his work in San Francisco. Yeah. And so that whole industry kind of shut down for him. But anyways, long story short, he had me out on a job. I was 12 years old, running ductwork underneath the house on the weekend, doing a side job for him. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. When you're a little kid, you know, you're getting to crawl around in dirt and do something, and all of a sudden, you know, that Sunday came. You know, we worked all day Saturday, and Sunday I ride my bike over to his house, and he whips out $200 cash and gives me $200 cash. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was there for, 6-7 hours while he was up sitting around, talking with the homeowner the whole time while I'm doing all the work. And I don't know what he got paid, but it must've been pretty nice. And after that, I was hooked. I started asking him every weekend if I could go to work for him. And from then on out, I did, I started up hard in the industry. I grew up in it. He had me come in, and at that time we had a couple hundred employees, and I was, cleaning toilets to doing table layouts to, next thing I know, I'm out doing new construction, running job sites. And then I got approached in my early 20s by another HVAC contractor, actually kind of headhunted me and recruited me, a guy by the name of Lou Snavely. Been out of the industry for a little while, retired. But he said, look, you can make some real money in this industry. And, what you're doing right now is real money, but it's not, we're talking 6 figures. And I was, no. And next thing I know, I'm working for him and never looked back. Bought my first house at 21 years old. And I just never looked back and kind of worked my way up through the ranks. Became a installer in AOR, and then from that became, an install manager, a service tech, service manager, operations manager, GM, and owner. And Smart Choice Heating and Air, I took over about 18 months ago. I have a partner that I pretty much, when I found out about this company, 18 months ago, the owner was doing about $700,000 a year. Wasn't a lot. And I just said, hey, I can change this up and we can make this a real company. And our first full year, we did a little over $5 million.
Jeez.
And
it's quite a jump.
Just changed it. Yeah. We went from 5 employees to up until this little lockdown, we were at 48 employees. We just had to furlough our entire outbound call center, but it's been good. I love the industry. I've owned a couple companies now, sold them, worked for some of the biggest companies in the industry, and just those were my college years, informative years, and I also do a lot of consulting and training for other companies, including my competitors as well.
So it sounds obviously you had a lot of on the job training, some real life training. Did you go to any school for anything or relative to the industry at all, or is it just all?
No, it's always been hands-on. So my brother-in-law taught me, the actual, nuts and bolts of the industry.
Right.
I still look up to him. I was talking to him this morning actually, and all the nuts and bolts. And then, I was 30 years old when I opened up my first company, and within 3 years grew to a little over 4.5 million, not knowing anything. I was just a general manager at the time, and said, "Oh, I can open up my own," and just ran at it, had a good time. Sold it to one of the big boys, got out, and went to work for them. And during that time, when I went to work for, the big corp, they had, they were doing about $1 billion a year in HVAC, residential HVAC. And, that was my college years. I always tell everybody, from 34 to about 38, I learned so much during that time, because I got to see the back end side of it more than anything, and how to actually develop my management skills and interact with people a lot better, because it was a big corporate company, big corporate structure. So
a different system,
a lot of
infrastructure that it takes to get there.
Yeah. And a lot of, what I go around and teach and train, or I'll give seminars and stuff on, is culture. Because that's what I've learned over the years is, I've changed a lot. I've learned from a lot of mistakes that I've made. I used to run companies with an iron fist. Now I'm more about, hey, let's figure out how we can build a team around each other instead of just my way or the highway.
Right. That's so funny too, because I know you said you listened to a couple of the other episodes, but that seems to be a pretty resounding theme, and I feel like we probably sound like a broken record to anyone who actually listens to all these. I say that every time.
Well, culture is king, man. We do like once a month. We do like we hire catering trucks to come into our shop. We also, every birthday we do like a little birthday party. When people are having kids, we have like a little baby shower. We do 4 company like picnics a year. We do quite a bit of stuff for our employees. And then every month we give away these big, if you go on our social media, you'll see these elaborate like UFC type belts for like top promoter, top producer, top turnover tech, top installer.
What's funny is I don't know if you got told, but I actually dropped by your office a few weeks ago, dropped off some information. And
oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was Bashir at the front desk. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
we
was
call
there.
Him Bash. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was there. Cool guy, by the way. I think you got a great guy at the front there. He was awesome to talk to, but I saw a bunch of them hanging back there, and he was smiling ear to ear talking about them. It was, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It was a cool concept. It's pretty awesome.
Well, we used to give away like money and stuff like that, like it was like gift cards, and
right.
The guys weren't really into it. As soon as we started doing these, it brings out the kid in them, I think.
Oh, for sure.
As soon as we brought out the first time we brought out these belts, the guys were like arguing who was going to get them. And then one guy, it was funny because we had one guy literally, we give them to him, take photos, and then we hang them up for the month.
In the office, yeah.
And then one guy, we gave it to him. He jumped in his truck, drove off. We got one of our other techs got a picture of him wearing it at the gas station. And mind you, this is a 42-year-old man.
But he was probably chest out, peacocking all over the place, just loving it.
Yeah, and I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And after that, we posted on social media, and I have a pretty good-sized following. And I love sharing stories. I love, helping out other contractors that want to learn and give me, their knowledge too, because I can always learn too. But it was funny because as soon as we started posting those pictures, every contractor in the country started reaching out going, hey, where'd you get those made? And how I found them, I rely a lot on my wife. I tell her kind of ideas, and then she goes and finds the stuff. And she found them of all places is Amazon.
Oh, I was gonna say Pinterest.
And they're made really nice.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, but again, back to culture is like that's so key. If you don't have happy employees, and you have like a lot of these big companies have a bunch of prima donnas, selling a couple $1 million a year, so they can do whatever they want. I've been there, done that. I'd rather, train the techs from within. We get a lot of young guys that are hungry, don't want to go off to college. They'd rather, learn a trade. And that's becoming a big deal now. I go and speak at colleges a lot and, the trade schools. And I feel like those kids really, instead of going to the trade schools, they should really come to guys like myself that's not going to charge them, I teach everything in-house. So we can teach guys what they're paying at a trade school, $20,000. We can teach them ourselves, and they're getting paid to learn. And they can, some guys last 6 months and then go off and get double their wages at another company. Hey, so be it. At least I'm training guys right and properly.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting them into the industry regardless. And I think that's so key. I feel like a lot of companies that have the ability and the means are going that way, and actually pushing to develop, certified criteria or recognizable criteria or certifications and via whatever governing body, just because they're able to train and it's mobile trade schools, if you will. They're all over the place. It's hands-on so I think it's becoming more and more popular. And
and you can work with a lot of your suppliers. We work with AC Pro, and AC Pro, they are a phenomenal company. Anytime we do a big training and we need somebody to come in and certify what we're doing, they'll send one of their trainers out to make sure we're doing it right, and then they give certificates out to everybody. They help all our guys on a consistent basis. I have I have a 21-year-old son. I almost said 20-year-old. He just turned 21, and he graduated.
Whole new set of problems on your hands now.
Yeah. Well, he graduated Newport Harbor with a 4.3. Could have went to any university he wanted to. Begged me to come and be in the business. Because over the years, during the summertime, I would have him come and work at the office, at a shop, and he'd learn. And he's really one of those kids that can hold a conversation with a 35-year-old, not another 18-year-old. So we brought him in a little over a year ago, and I didn't really teach him anything other than, hey, read these books. I read a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk and like Grant Grant Cardone, those type books. And I was feeding him. And when he was a little kid, I used to read like the Closers too. And I mean, my kids are sellers. And so once he got into the industry, everybody was like, oh, this kid, he's got everything made. I'm so hard on him, but I'll put him up against any tech now. He spent about $40,000 of his own money to go buy tools. He went and, I guess my point is, like, the kids nowadays, if you show them what they can do and can achieve, they'll go out there and do it themselves. And that's, he learned a lot offline. YouTube has a lot of great things, podcasts and social media. He learned a ton through social media. So
that's crazy.
It's really interesting, of what these kids can make. And instead of getting stuck in debt going to college, making a couple $100,000 a year.
That's awesome. Is that how you're finding a lot of these new employees, that part of your workforce? Are you going out to these colleges and high schools and and just training and telling them about what they could be doing with their life? Or
that was that used to be my big recruiting tool, was going out and speaking. And I'd go and speak probably 4 times a month, and it took up quite a bit of my time. And now we have a full-time recruiter in-house. But the majority of our techs come from social media. We have a big social media presence. I don't personally run them. I hired 2 influencers, and those 2 influencers go out and do all my social media. So I have a personal one, and then I have 2 company ones. And we get at least, right now, the past week, we're probably getting 50 to 60 applications a day.
A day?
Because guys are, dead in the water, and these guys have to feed their families. We're essential service, so we're supposed to be going out there. So it's a good time, but it also is a bad time. I had an order in for 10 more trucks, and I put a halt on it until we figure out what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of it. We were supposed to triple this year, and I was having 2 trucks delivered next week, and then 3 the following. And I just told them, hey, hold off until we get through this, and
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't want to take it to a downer, but I think a lot of
that's reality, man. That's why we're here.
Yeah, it is. A lot of companies, and I was on a webinar yesterday, and a lot of companies were talking about, the scaling everything back, and I said, I jumped in, and next thing I know, it turned to me talking the whole time. I turned it up. I dropped all my advertising and really turned it up to social media. And if you go on our social media, it's fun. It's not, hey, we're doing spring tune-ups now. It's nothing about spring tune-ups.
Yeah, not sales or anything, yeah.
Yeah, it's about culture. It's about our trucks are out and about. It's about our customers, talking to, we have one guy that goes out full-time and just talks to customers. And he chases our techs, or he comes into the office and talks to me, or, they made a video the other day of and chopped it up and made it make me look like I'm just like some conceited, overbearing monster. And I thought it was really funny and clever, because they have carte blanche. I let them do whatever they want. A lot of times it backfires a little bit, because I'm like, oh, they shouldn't have done that, but oh well. But we get reaction either way, whether it's bad, good, or indifferent. And this one, it has me stepping out of a Rolls Royce, and it says HVAC God, aka the closer. I got so much hate on that, and it was a spoof. It was like weighs, height 6 foot, weighing in at undisclosed weight. It was supposed to be funny, and people just didn't get it. They were just making fun of the boss, and I think it's funny. I have a lot of people that love me, a lot of people that hate me. It doesn't matter.
Well, like
I'm
you said,
just
it's
out
a
there
reaction either way, right? Either way, your name's getting out there.
Yeah, we're just out there just trying to get. I mean, we went from getting an average of about 50 to 60,000 views a week to 500 to 600,000 a week now.
Golly.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah, it's really changed. My personal one's getting like 200,000 a week right now.
So take yourself back 25 years ago. Did you ever think that would be how you run your HVAC business?
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
it's just crazy that. I mean, there's obviously different ways to do it, and that's not going to work for everybody, right? I feel like you got to have the right mindset and, like you said, culture and willingness to be that transparent in most situations. But it's definitely.
I think that everyone could do it. I was on a call yesterday with guys that were 70 years old and been in the trade for 60 years and this, that, and the other thing. And they started talking to me. What are you doing differently? And then all of a sudden I start looking at my phone as I'm on this webinar, and I'm getting all these follows from all these people all over the country, and I'm laughing because they all started stalking me in the little corner of the chat box. Everybody's like, hey, just so you know, I'm stalking you right now, and I can see them all, and they're like, it's just. It's not like, some of it's really well production, and then some of it is just really gritty, and it's just out there. But anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And I think that people have to understand that that is a new generation. It is a new market. There are so many people, especially during this lockdown, sitting at home doing nothing but on their social media, seeing what's going on.
Yep.
So I think that's anybody and everybody should do it. You know, it's key, and it's going to be vital to your business moving forward.
Well,
it's very easy to get pay-per-click that way. We're getting web traffic going directly to our website. About what did we get last week? About 250 people went to our website. In my wildest hopes to get 250 people going to my website for less than, say, $1,000, that would never happen on PPC.
Yeah.
And I think
so. It's just a game changer.
And I think what is tough for people to wrap their minds around it, and hopefully listening to you will help. But you know, hiring those influencers or hiring people that know what they're doing to do that may seem like a cost to somebody, and it is up front, right? Like you're bringing that person on, and there's an overhead there. But what you're getting in return, as far as you're getting exposure, so advertising, you're getting people to come in and apply, so recruiting, like there are all these things that you're getting from, and again, you're I think you said you had a recruiter also, but I mean, even without that person, I feel like you'd still be getting a ton of people, coming into.
Well, the recruiter now we've cut back, and we're giving her other job duties just because we're getting so many.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
since we went,
there is overhead there, but
we went full time with this social media stuff. Well, we had one prior influencer that was doing it since November, and then we just brought on another influencer about a month and a half ago. So now we have 2 full-time guys, and these 2 full-time guys, my thought process was when I gave a speech in Vegas back in October, and I said, I'm going to change some things about my business. And one of them is going social media. My thought process with it was, how did Red Bull and Monster get so big? They went out,
guerrilla marketing.
Put people in cars and gave away drinks.
Yep.
So that's what I did. I went out and bought a little Chevy Spark that cost me $13,000 for a 2020 Chevy Spark, and had it wrapped with our logo, threw a ton of hoodies, foam fingers, hats, lanyards, and said, here, dude, go out, have fun with this, give it to whoever you want. Just get videos of people saying, hey, I made the smart choice. That's all I want. And he went out and had fun with it, and still doing it.
It just kind of grew from there. That's crazy.
And I think you're speaking to, I mean, it's not just particularly to HVAC. It's to the entrepreneur, the business owner of being, and, very Gary V, the idea of being adaptive to the society and culture that you're in. Because I feel like the days of yellow pages are done. And while you might get some business here and there from that, but what you're doing and modeling is the fact that you can find new adaptive ways to reach out to your potential new customers. And on top of that, reach out to your own team in a way that relates to them. And you're building your business it's like a little mini empire. Actually, one of the questions I was going to ask you was, how did you build so fast? But you're actually answering my question as you speak. So.
Well, I think the reason why we built so fast is, besides the social media, we just really, everybody knows me, and I'm not trying to be, conceited, but everybody in the industry pretty much knows me. I've been around for a long time, and most people know me as HVAC God. And it started off, at 18 when it was a joke between me and another buddy. He had got Jesus on his back window of his service truck, and I said, well, if you're Jesus, I must be God. And then ever since then, he went out and bought me the license plate, HVAC God. And I was 18 at the time, so it's stuck ever since. And now I actually have a corporation called that, and that's my training company. But anyways, awesome. Everybody knows me from that, and so I always am trying to change and evolve, I guess is what I'm saying. There's so much opportunity out there for everybody,
And I don't mind sharing with the guy next door to me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, because I want everybody around me to succeed, because all we're doing is building better businesses and better competition. You know, you raise the bar in the competition, guess what? Your prices go up too.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it brings a level of credibility to the industry as well, right? I mean, I think it's getting better, but there was a time where contractors were seen in a kind of a negative light as somebody that could easily take advantage of you, or you know, kind of pull the wool over your eyes, if you will. But you know, kind of making everybody better and a little bit more transparent, a little bit more fun is just making the whole industry better.
And that's where I was going with it, is like, so everybody knows me that I've done every aspect of the industry. So when they come to work for me, they know that I wear a suit every day, which most contractors don't wear a suit. You'll see me out at a job lifting up a package unit with a tech to try and figure out why it's not leveled, or you'll see me crawling through an attic in a suit, you know, because a tech can't figure something out. I love getting out in the field every now and then. And nobody believes that, but when techs see that and they see that leadership will go out there and do it with them, it's amazing. That's how we grew our business so fast, was they know that I'm willing to get elbow to elbow with guys, and I can more than triple my business this year with the amount of techs that I have availability to. But I don't want to grow too fast, too quick.
Right.
I've seen it happen so many times, and cash flow becomes an issue, and it's a big challenge.
Overextended. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, what kind of infrastructure do you have set up internally from a system standpoint? You know, as you grow, I mean, obviously you're making a lot of decisions there. Do you guys? What does your team look like there? That your decision making team, or your?
So it's me and a partner, Chris Munoz. He used to be a selling tech for me. He was actually number one in the country for quite a few years. So he's my partner. It used to be him and his dad's company that were doing, you know, it was mainly a garage company at the time when I took it over. And then we have an operations manager that's been with me for probably 10 years off and on. We have an accountant, in-house accountant. We have an HR department. And then those are our key managers that, you know, I make quite a few of the decisions. Just I shoot from the hip and I go for it. My partner's, he's usually out in the field selling. So, but if we have like something internally that we want to discuss, and like somebody's having a challenge with somebody else, or we bring the whole entire staff in. I do daily meetings with the field staff up until the past 2 weeks, of course. Right. But we do a lot of Zooms right now. And then office staff, you know, we try and do it 3 days a week, but sometimes I get caught up on like a webinar or something. So the office will meet without me. And then my operations manager, Christina, will come to me and say, hey, this is kind of what the game plan was. This is what happened. For us, it's cool because we run off of Service Titan. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's our software. So we're 100% digital. All our field staff, our office staff, we have no paper. So we can run remotely. And so this little,
I was going to say, it probably makes
everybody
this
going remote
situation a lot easier.
Yeah. So we can see, I see everything real time. I have, like, right now I'm seeing my daily purchase order report just came through for my 10 o'clock hour. It has my sales reports. Everything just always is popping up. So we're set up pretty well. I know things could be better. We were getting ready, like I said, to expand drastically. And then this thing kind of hit us. So we're just making some internal changes right now. I just 3 days ago changed our script for we only contact our immediate customers that we've done business with right now. And that changed for us drastically. We went last week, we got really slow and got a little nervous. So I'm racking my brain, started brainstorming with my wife. She's in, you know, real estate. So she knows a lot about marketing and stuff. And, you know, we changed it from just talking about filtration. Since you're locked in your home, let us come out to your home and do air filtration or change out your filters because you're stuck in your home. We're one of the essential services that are there, so let us come out to your home. And every morning the guys are checking in, showing, a thermometer, taking their temperatures, and the customers get to see that. They're wearing masks, gloves, booties, as much as we can do right now.
Yeah. That's crazy. Even you gotta make those changes. It's pretty insane. But what are you guys more like service, or do you guys do construction as well, or like installing?
So we're 95% AOR add-on replacement. So we're residential replacement. That 5% is commercial, and that commercial business comes from our social media or people that own. We've done their home and they own a business, so they ask us to go do their business for them.
Yeah.
But we're about 90% service and 10% change out, which is a huge flip-flop for us.
Yeah, so that's what I was kind of going towards. So, I mean, from a service standpoint, yeah, you're essential. You can do it, but I would imagine, and like you just spoke to, there are some hurdles you got to get over get around to some objections you got to get around to make people comfortable with getting in there. Especially, I mean, and I'm sure cash flow is an issue for the customers too, right? Is spending money on service something that they are able to do right now? But are you seeing the commercial side slow down? Is that
the commercial side? That's what my brother-in-law does up in the Bay Area, and he was telling me, we were talking, and he was telling me that he's already hearing that people are cutting their prices 10% just to keep the jobs. He was telling me that all these guys are really taking a big hit and they're just scrambling for scraps. A lot of commercial guys are like him. He's a big shop. He's been around for over 30 years, and he just put the brakes on it altogether and just said, hey guys, I don't feel comfortable sending you guys out to these jobs. We can't get into half our jobs out in the Bay Area right now. So I'm just shutting this whole thing down until this is done.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But for us, the commercial, we have a customer that we did his house, and we're doing his surgical center next week. And that's because the surgical center shut down. So he's like, hey, it's perfect time. I needed to redo this anyway. So, but it is challenging. I don't care what contractor tells you or who they are, tells you it's a good time and they're growing like wildfire. And I know everybody. I've talked to some of the biggest players in the game over the past 3 days, and a lot of them will tell me, "Oh, we're growing, we're hiring, we're doing this, we're doing that." And then I talk to their key employees or key management, and they're like, "Dude, we're dead. We're dead. This is insane."
Yeah, I can't imagine this is an environment for anybody to grow like that.
It will be in 30 days.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, whoever makes it through the 60 days,
there'll be a lot of work out there.
There's gonna be a lot of work out there because all the other guys fell off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right. I mean, there's definitely some.
Yeah, and that PPP program. Everybody's saying how easy it is to apply and how easy it is to do this and that and the other thing. Well, I had my accountant come in at 4 a.m. Friday morning and start calling because it's East Coast time, and she was on the hold until 9:30. Finally got through, and the second question they asked, because it's through Bank of America, our bank that we're in good standings with, we have no debt, nothing like that, said, do you have a credit card with us? We said, no, we don't have a credit card. Oh, we have to decline you then.
Yeah, I've actually heard from a few people that the banks are being the bigger issue with this, because you have to be a member of the bank to be able to put this through, and some banks are putting gnarly regulations.
We're a member.
Yeah.
We're a member of the bank, and with the good standings, we're putting millions of dollars through that bank a year. And the second question, there was no underwriting, there was nothing. The second question was, do you have a credit card with us?
That's crazy.
And we said no, and then as soon as they said, well, I said, let me sign up for one, and they said, sorry, you had to have one since 2/15 of 2020.
Jeez.
Wow.
And so now we're reaching out to, the smaller banks, which they don't even have the understanding of what's going on yet. But, we're just trying to secure some money just to have it. If we need it, great. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah,
But every bank has their own underwriting. It's not like the government saying, and I think the government's doing a great job, but I just really think that the government said, here you go, and gave us 2 forms, and we've knocked those 2 forms out. It said approved, gave you approval number and all this stuff, and then you have to take it to the bank, and then the bank was like, no, you have to fill out. It was 3 years of personal taxes, 3 years of company taxes, all this other stuff. And we were like, wait a second, I thought this was supposed to be simple and everybody was going to get a chunk.
Yeah. That's crazy that the banks have that much control over it from that level.
Yeah, my father is a CPA and a CFO of a company out in Texas, and he had spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday going through that paperwork, and it was the same idea. He thought it'd be simple and easy, and it was not. So go figure, huh?
Yeah.
So kind of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's pretty different. From what the news is telling everybody to what we're actually getting on the back end.
What's the you talk about culture overall, but in this very small window of time with coronavirus happening, what is the feeling amongst your staff? Are they more hopeful in knowing that this thing's going to blow over soon, or are they concerned, especially those that have been furloughed? What is your feeling?
The furlough staff is very concerned. I get DMs on my social media daily from our outbound callers. Hey, how's things going? Is it going to change soon? And we're trying to keep a positive, upbeat. Hey, is whatever we can do to help you.
Yeah.
But the internal staff, I think it's not the most positive it's been, to be honest. I've just thrown it out there. We're used to hustle and bustle, and I walk in right now, and we have everybody pretty much quarantined to their own offices. Everybody has to be wearing masks and gloves in here, and it's just not the lively, upbeat, things that happen in music playing, everybody talking. It just we have our operations manager, her daughter got sent home from their school. So her daughter's actually doing her webinars from one of our offices right now. So it's a different time right now, and we're trying to work with everybody's families and stuff. And, like I said at the beginning of this 3 weeks ago, I was thinking it was a joke. I walked in and it's on my social media. I walked in to the grocery store and I said, I live in Newport Coast, and I thought this would be the last place that anybody's going to go crazy. And I walked into the grocery store and called my wife, and I said, they have nothing in here. Yeah. And I'm at a Pavilions. And she was like, what? I said, yeah, I think things are changing. We need to start looking at different routes. And I started videoing, the aisles all being empty. There's no milk. There's no toilet paper, which is the oddest thing in the world. They just ran out of stuff. And so, but we adapted, we changed. My wife just ordered everything off of Amazon.
Yep.
So but for the office staff, it is different.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's
they're used to me being here too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the unknown, right? It's not knowing.
Yeah.
Is probably.
And that's hard. That's hard for me. If you ask anybody that's ever worked with me, for me, side by side with me, I've had the flu. I've had kids, and I took a half a day. I never take days off. I love working. I love this industry. It's done so much for me, so I try and do the same in return. And I want other people to follow in my footsteps. So when they see that I'm not here, they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And it's been very challenging for me to sit at home and not get dressed up to go to work. And my wife, I get up in the morning still, and I go straight downstairs. I got a little home office set up, and she just comes downstairs and just looks at me, and she can tell. She's like, no caramel frappuccino this morning. You want one? I'll make you one. Starbucks up the street is closed, so it's like things are different.
So kind of touching on that a little bit as far as being different. I'm always curious to know what people's thoughts are on when things go back to, I mean, quote unquote normal, right? With everybody being forced to work from home, and it sounds like you guys are set up and it's been pretty seamless, but there are companies out there that, had to find concessions and ways around this. And I'm just kind of curious how you think. Do you think you're going to go 100% back to the way it was, let's say December? Or do you think that there's going to be some sort of middle ground between what you're doing now and what you were doing in December before all this? As far as, people working remote or from home, or, kind of what you're at.
No, I like having the camaraderie of everybody at the office. If people need to work from remotely, to do things here and there, I don't mind, but I really miss having everybody being able to talk to each other and, just the daily seeing each other. We need that interaction. Maybe we'll change our hours a little bit. I've noticed. I might let people, mix up the hours and have different shifts, because we're open. This office is open from 7 to 7. So we do have two split shifts, but during that time, I think I'm going to let people choose it versus right now it's just, hey, this is what your hours are. Because I see, I've talked to some of them, and some of the people, have younger kids, and they're enjoying being able to see their kids in the morning now. Just like myself, I'm a guy, I get up at 4:00 in the morning every morning, and I used to go running, but that's taken a toll on me. So I get up, I work out, I go into the office. I'm at the office at 5:30. My partner, he gets to the office. People think he's crazy, but he gets to the office at, I believe, 3:00 in the morning.
Oh,
and well, he lives far.
Okay.
So our office is located in Anaheim, and he lives in Riverside.
Okay.
Well, San Bernardino, way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's trying to fight all that traffic coming in. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he does is he gets up early, takes a shower, gets ready, drives in, and then he has a couch in his office and sleeps until I get in.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
once I walk in, he gets up and does his thing. But that way he doesn't hit traffic. But he's always been that way too.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I might change things up a little bit, but it's still going to be difficult because I like having daily meetings with my techs. I like to talk with all my techs and see them face to face, see how their day is going to be, how their day was prior. If, they stepped on dog crap in the morning, I got to get their mindset right. I got to get that, hey, the poor woes me attitudes out of them. Installers, I want to make sure that they're out there installing properly and make sure the installers got everything they need from the office staff, because the installers are the backbones of the company, and they don't get enough praise. So I think our 7:30 meetings will stay daily. We might knock maybe one day a week out. Like I was thinking maybe knocking off Fridays. But other than that, I think we'll probably keep going business as usual once this thing gets back to where it was.
So take yourself to a spot before all this happened, because obviously there are a number of hurdles and objections we could speak to, and we've already spoken to. But before this, just running your business from a day to day, speak to some of the hurdles or objections or things you guys the challenges you faces on a daily basis that you see?
Call counts, and so here's the biggest challenge that and I don't care who they are in the industry, the biggest challenge is the area of coverage that the company works in. So when you're a much larger company, it's easier for routing and less windshield time. But I think our biggest challenge is just keeping our techs in a close proximity of the office, where they live, and that type of stuff, because it keeps that happy mindset. Because when the guys have to drive from, say, Anaheim to, the Valley,
that messes with their minds. So that's always a challenge. The other challenge we have is everybody has different attitudes. So just getting, like, you know, it used to be an ongoing joke on my door was a therapist, like, and most owners will tell you that, but it really is. It's me finding out, you know, why is this guy acting this way towards this other person, and then getting them to relate to each other's challenges or issues and so forth. Other than that, I mean, we have no problems getting calls on the board, even during this time. We've changed it up a little bit, but those are my two biggest challenges, I think.
Yeah, and I think people issues are probably, I mean, and when I say issues, I don't mean that everybody has problems with people. It's just more managing people, right?
Yeah, communication is key.
Yeah, I'm curious as to the route efficiency and that kind of stuff that you spoke to. Do you guys have any sort of software or anything that helps you out with that, from, you know, that you're looking at the day before to kind of set up the next day, or is somebody doing that?
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I wake up so early. Cause we're booking calls all the way, and sometimes we'll get calls at 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
So we'll book those calls. We have live people like dispatchers that we pay extra to, and they rotate. So they'll take a laptop home, and somebody calls. We want a live person that's staff answering, not like an answering service. So our software, Service Titan, has our GPSs built into it, so we can see the routing and everything. But throughout the day, that changes because, like, say a tech is out on a call and he's working, say he goes out to a 20-year-old system. They have a ton of repairs. Next thing I know, they're starting to talk about replacement. So now I got to pull another tech, because we want a second opinion. So we have a second opinion tech, which is a field supervisor, go over to that call and make sure they're both looking and seeing the same thing. And then they both talk to the homeowner. And so now the routing's completely changed.
Right.
So that just changed our whole day.
So you're just working with it on the fly.
Yeah. So then usually that's around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, you know, my operations manager or myself start talking, hey, how can we get this other customer taken care of? Who do we got to pull? And it's an ongoing thing, but our software is it's business in a box. I sound like I work for Service Titan, but you know, they now do roofing, garage doors, electrical, plumbing. It's a 100% web-based software. It's probably the biggest out there in the country now. A little expensive, but they really are on top of it. They do.
I mean, it sounds like it probably we're probably replacing 2 or 3 people on staff for you as far as what it's doing. So
probably more than that. Yeah. On some of these bigger companies, I mean, you wouldn't believe now they just integrated, you know, digital marketing to it. So they have a lot that they're always onboarding.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a great software. I've been using them for 7 years when they were still like 4 employees. Now they're, I think, 1,500 employees.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully you got grandfathered into some decent pricing there.
Nah, the price keeps on going. I know the
loyalty bonus there, huh?
No, the price keeps on going up.
That's funny.
So there's not a lot I could do on that.
That's awesome. Well, we'll let you get going here in a little bit. I think unless you got something, well, let me not say unless. We'd love to hear something funny, crazy. I mean, obviously you got some, I would imagine you got some good stories from the social media side from you know, whether it's funny, awkward,
well, yeah,
you know,
we get
things that have happened.
We get some very we just had it happen the other day. You know, a guy reached out to one of our influencers and said, hey, I really want this system. Went on and on and on. Can I get the owner's number? So he put me in a group text with this guy, and this guy is telling me he wants, you know, basically a $50,000 system, and goes on and on and on. And so I said, no problem. I'll have my office reach out to you and set it up. My office reaches out to this number, and it's just somebody, you know, another competitor messing with us. And then immediately we get a DM to our company message saying, how could you use this guy? He's terrible. They're the worst company in the world to be using this influencer. He's a jerk. And all. And we get some wild stuff coming in like that.
Man.
But we get on our social media, we get quite a few people that are distraught because I think it's because we're getting put in their news feed so much. No, we don't have, I mean, I have stories for being in the industry for so long. I have story after story, but I don't know. I think if your listeners want to check us out, they can look at us up on Instagram is our big ones. It's Smart Choice Air is one of them. And that's kind of our lighthearted one. And then there's Smart Choice Co. And then my personal one is HVAC God. And I'm always
I feel like we need a reality show. We just got finished watching Tiger King. I feel like I need we need to get to a producer and a network and get an HVAC God reality show going.
Trust me, we've talked about it. Some of the stuff that happens in our business is pretty wild. We've had one in particular. I'll tell a quick story. It's probably not the most. It is what it is. We had a technician that was a really good technician, and then I guess he had some challenges with his wife, and showed up to our office in our company vehicle, drinking in the morning, and was going through like a mental breakdown. So I went outside to talk to him, and then he just proceeded to want to fight me out in the parking lot. And he was just one of those terrible drunks, just going through his love you, man, to I want to fight you, man, to I hate you, man. And then the next day he called in and said, hey, where's my truck? We're going, what? He didn't remember any of it.
Wow.
So, yeah, we get some, and that's being in construction. You get some wild stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Sure.
That's awesome. Well, again, we appreciate your time, man. If we got the Instagram, what's for the people out there? What's your phone number, website? Get it all out there so we can get you some traffic. Not that you need it. It sounds like we're pretty small right now. We've got about 7 listeners, so
that's all right. That's all right.
I think you're going to be doing us more good. I think you're going to be doing us more good than we're doing for you. But hey, we appreciate it, man.
No, I'll put you guys out there. So our phone number is 844-202-9010, and that's Smart Choice Air. And we're smartchoicesocal.com.
Perfect. I love your logo too, by the way. I don't know whoever branded that for you, but it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we changed it up. That was my partner actually, and then we changed it up as soon as I came into the business. He must have got a free wrap or some free stuff done to his vans, but we joke about it now constantly because it was like they were like light blue with bright orange flames on it, and we had no idea what the message was or anything. And then so what we wanted was something just that stood out that Tex wanted to drive, because a lot of these guys have these bright purple, green, and white trucks or whatever, and the Tex don't like bringing them home. So we thought, Johnny Cash all black, something look cool, stand out. And if you look closely at all the wraps, there's a ghost imprint in the background. So a lot of people, we get compliments nonstop on those.
Yeah, no, it looks cool. Very cool. Very classy. And
thank you.
Very classic, I guess, and old school. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thanks again for your time, man, Keith. We appreciate it. It's been awesome.
Hey, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah, thanks, Keith.
We'll hopefully get you about 7 more followers here and see what we can do for you.
We'll get you out there. I appreciate it,
man. Thanks again for your time. Stay safe.
Thanks, Keith.
All right. You too.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and give us a like or 5 stars or whatever means you like us.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. And check out our website for more video content and extras.
While you're there, shoot us a message if you want to be a guest. We'd love to have you on.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.